WWE makes massive mistakes after Crown Jewel, the best and worst of WWE Raw. WWE Raw accidentally airs a disturbing video. Triple H removes a superstar off TV immediately for airing his frustration publicly. Rhea Ripley is disgusting according to her closest WWE rivals. Sky's WWE future after a huge victory on Raw. The WWE's reaction to huge alleged Jacob Fatu controversy before Raw. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw. WWE Raw was taped a day in advance, with the post-Crown Jewel episode taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Despite not being live, it was a solid show. Multiple big matches have been set up, including the culmination of the Bloodline saga. There's still a way to go, but the finish line can be seen following this week's show. So, without further ado, let's get into the biggest positives and negatives from WWE Raw. Number 1. Best. Sky's the limit. Following Rhea Ripley's legitimate injury, plans seemingly had to be completely changed. Liv Morgan finally has a new challenger for the Women's World Championship now, with a battle royal on WWE Raw determining her next opponent. Sky won the match and is set to challenge Morgan for the title. The Damage Control member is among the best female in-ring performers in the world, so WWE Raw will only benefit from it. Multiple matches were teased for the Women's World Champion, though. It seems like Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez will challenge Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the Women's Tag Team titles soon, based on what happened during the match. This might lead to the champions' eventual split. Number 2. Worst. WWE Raw's biggest missed opportunity. For someone who dumped the lovable Alpha Academy for a stronger group, Chad Gable has failed in his pursuit of success. He is so far removed from the heights of a potential premium live event title win. Gable has continued to impress over time, including during WWE Raw against Dragon Lee. However, he lost. Yet again. Even though it wasn't entirely clean, that's not ideal. All we can hope is the ex-Olympian defeats Rey Mysterio. However, for now, Chad Gable is lost in the shuffle, as is his American-made faction. This wasn't supposed to happen after the promise shown at the start of his heel run in the spring. Number 3. Best. Sami Uso. Starting his promo in Arabic, Sami Zayn was among the biggest crowd favorites on WWE Raw. The former Intercontinental Champion revealed that he only helped the OG bloodline at Crown Jewel because of Jey Uso. The Usos had differing opinions on Zayn's involvement, with Jimmy claiming he kicked Roman Reigns on purpose. The former honorary Uso then cut a passionate speech to defend himself before declaring he was done with the Bloodline saga. Not so fast, though. Before Sami Zayn could leave the arena, Jey Uso invited him to SmackDown to talk it out with Big Jim and the OTC. The Yeet Master then called him Sami Uso. And just like that, we are off on the road to War Games, thanks to that heartfelt segment. Number 4. Best and worst. Gunther versus Priest at Survivor Series. The main event of Raw saw Gunther find out his next challenger. Damian Priest won a very good fatal 4-way to earn his rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship, pinning Dominic Mysterio. Bronson Reed invaded the match and took out the field, but that didn't stop the Punisher. Priest is set to face the Ring General potentially at Survivor Series. A match that big will likely take place at the Premium Live event, or at least in the same week. This essentially guarantees CM Punk's rumored match against Gunther isn't happening anytime soon. A lot of us were hoping to see him return and challenge for the World Heavyweight title at Survivor Series. That still would have been possible if Dominic Mysterio won tonight, as he is more suited to a one-week build to a world title match than Damian Priest is. Either way, the former Judgment Day member will be the biggest babyface on WWE Raw at least until Survivor Series. Punk might yet be away for some more time. WWE Raw accidentally airs a disturbing video. Michael Cole had to go out of his way on Raw to confirm that a disturbing video that aired wasn't put on by the WWE production team. It was a disturbing footage featuring the Wyatt Six, and it was also quite insightful. This week on Raw, the New Day's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were getting into a heated argument again before the camera abruptly cut to a dark room. In the room was The Miz, with his mouth taped up and tied to a chair. Bo Dallas confronted him, primarily referencing his Miztourage days. In a shocking twist, Bo Dallas revealed that the Wyatt Six were targeting The Miz and not the Final Testament. Not only this, but once the video was over, Michael Cole confirmed that it wasn't the production team that put it on, and that Raw was hijacked by the disturbing footage. It will be interesting to see where it all goes. If the Final Testament isn't being targeted, then The Miz may very well be on his own. It looks like the common theme is for them to target those who betrayed their friends and family. It looks like the Miztourage days still have an impact on Bo Dallas, and subsequently, the Wyatt Six. Bo Dallas versus The Miz might just be the start of it. Michael Cole won't be calling it as he will be on SmackDown. As Raw was taped in Riyadh in the same arena as Crown Jewel, he was present. Triple H removes a superstar off TV immediately for airing his frustration publicly. Triple H is the current WWE's chief content officer. Under his leadership, the Stamford-based promotion is now gearing up for Survivor Series War Games 2024. Amidst this, Montez Ford recently went public with his frustration over his booking in WWE. The Street Profits member expressed disappointment that his team hasn't won the tag team titles in the past 4 years, while newer teams have risen and claimed championships. Ford also noted that fans seem to forget about the Street Profits, only remembering them as a team frequently beaten down by the Bloodline. Commonly, WWE stars refrain from criticizing their booking, which is why Montez Ford could face consequences for speaking out. In this instance, Triple H might even consider taking him immediately off television as a potential form of discipline. However, this punishment is not likely to unfold, given that the company's approach has shifted significantly since the game took over as chief content officer. Under Vince McMahon's regime, superstars were sometimes punished for minor reasons, but with Triple H, the environment has become less punitive. Instead, Ford's comments might prompt Triple H to reconsider the Profits' booking, as he is known to take note when wrestlers voice concerns about their storyline direction. Thus, Ford's decision to speak up could lead to either positive or negative consequences. Only time will tell how WWE will handle the situation and whether the company will make changes to Montez Ford's booking as a result. The last time Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins competed on Friday Night SmackDown was October 25, 2024, when they defeated Pretty Deadly in a tag team match. The former tag team champions were absent from the Crown Jewel Premium Live event, but Triple H could improve their booking by giving them more victories similar to their last match. Securing wins against other tag teams would help Montez and Angelo build momentum and re-establish themselves as a dominant tag team. This could potentially lead to a title shot against Motor City Machine Guns for the WWE tag team titles. Alternatively, the game could consider moving the Street Profits to NXT or Monday Night Raw. Sending them to the developmental brand could allow WWE to reintroduce them as a stronger team before bringing them back to the main roster. If the CCO chooses to move them to Raw, it could be done via a trade, giving the Street Profits a fresh start with new feuds and even a potential title shot for the World Tag Team titles. Rhea Ripley is disgusting according to her closest WWE rivals. One of Rhea Ripley's closest WWE rivals claimed she was disgusting ahead of tonight's edition of Raw. This week's episode of The Red Brand was taped in Saudi Arabia, following Crown Jewel 2024 over the weekend. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez unleashed a brutal attack on the Eradicator during this past Tuesday's edition of WWE NXT. The attack was made to write Rhea Ripley off of television as she recovered from a fractured orbital bone. Morgan took to her Instagram story today to share a video of herself and Dominic Mysterio destroying a piece of artwork dedicated to Ripley. The Women's World Champion claimed that her rival was disgusting. Sky's WWE future after a huge victory on Raw. Former Women's Champion. Sky outlasted multiple other stars to win a battle royal on the latest episode of WWE Raw and become the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship. She took to social media after the show to make a bold prediction about her future. The genius of the Sky last eliminated Lyra Valkyria to emerge victorious. The two other stars who were in the match, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, were taken out by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Her tag team partner, Kairi Sane, was also in the bout, but she got eliminated. Raw recently took to X to share a photo of herself backstage on Raw and wrote that she will be champion once again, which is a big statement about her future in WWE. "I will be a champion once again," she wrote. Since losing the women's title to Bayley, Sky's future in the company has seemed bleak as Damage Control fell into disarray. Asuka and Dakota Kai are out with injuries, and Kairi Sane along with Sky have sort of fallen down the pecking order. Sky's proclamation about her future seems to be a step forward not just for her, but for the entire group. The last time Liv Morgan defended the Women's World Championship was at WWE Bad Blood. She collided with Rhea Ripley, but the bout ended via DQ after Raquel Rodriguez interfered. The WWE's reaction to huge alleged Jacob Fatu controversy before Raw. As was reported earlier, WWE star Jacob Fatu has found himself in controversy. Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda has now reported WWE's reaction to the news. It was reported earlier that back in 2023, a non-profit, Jake's Network of Hope, alleged that Jacob Fatu had agreed to appear for them at a charity wrestling event. Later, though, he canceled and ghosted them, not reimbursing them with the advance payment that he had accepted from them. It was said earlier today that he still had not allegedly reimbursed them. The star apparently deactivated his X account after the news surfaced, although it is now back. As per Sportskeeda's Dr. Chris Featherstone's report, WWE is aware of the accusation against Fatu for the alleged actions. The report said that the company was investigating the resurfaced reports as well. However, there has been no further confirmation of any action they are considering regarding this beyond an investigation. With Fatu at the center of the big story heading into Survivor Series, it remains to be seen what happens and what the results of the investigation are. Fans will have to wait to see how Triple H and WWE conclude this. The WWE makes massive mistakes after Crown Jewel. WWE made history again by airing the first episode of Raw from Saudi Arabia. The show was taped over the weekend, but involved several feuds that were booked at Crown Jewel. The Bloodline drama continued to overtake both shows as the Usos wanted answers from Sami Zayn. Despite saving the OG Bloodline from a worse beating, even after stating his distrust of the honorary use, Jimmy Uso still wanted an explanation. Liv Morgan also found her next challenger by virtue of a random battle royal. That match showcased a lot of what's wrong with the division. WWE made the next 3 mistakes on the latest episode of Raw. Number 1. Where's the Intercontinental Champion? While the Intercontinental Championship has been on more premium live events than the United States title, new champion Braun Breaker didn't appear on Raw. It was pre-taped, so he may not have made the trip overseas. However, when a particular title isn't booked for an event, it's usually featured on TV before or after the PLE. That wasn't the case for Breaker. It feels like he's disappeared over the last 2 weeks since beating Jey Uso. The Bloodline angle kept going on Raw to sell Zayn appearing on SmackDown this week. A match between Dragon Lee and Chad Gable was booked, as was a showdown between the New Day and War Raiders. Why wasn't one of the brand's champions featured? Number 2. A telling battle royal exposes issues on Raw. Liv Morgan opened this week's Raw accompanied by Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez. After basking in her victory for a few moments, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair interrupted her. They were mad about an exchange the two sides had last week. Adam Pearce rushed to the ring to announce a number, 1 Contenders Battle Royal. The match displayed many issues plaguing the Raw Women's division. Damage Control and the Tag Champs were the only stars who got entrances. Despite being active, Rodriguez didn't participate. After returning from the commercial, the ring was full. It was hard to make everyone out due to the different ring gear women wear in Saudi Arabia. Once the field was clear, only Belair, Cargill, Sky, and Lyra Valkyria had a chance of winning. That highlights the depth issue plaguing the division. The roster is comprised mainly of tag teams, Pure Fusion Collective, Unholy Union, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, or random singles stars, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Natalya. The division misses Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch. Cargill and Belair got another title opportunity since they were in the ring with Morgan. Number 3, is the Bloodline angle moving too fast? The Go Home episode of Raw featured a shot of the Usos watching Sami Zayn as he spoke with Solo Sikoa in the parking lot. The twins concluded that he was a traitor, even though Jimmy didn't want to enlist Zayn's help in the first place. Jimmy felt his suspicions were confirmed when Zayn accidentally blasted Roman Reigns with a hell of a kick at Crown Jewel. Reigns and Zayn went for a move at Solo Sikoa at the same time, and Solo simply moved. On the Monday night show, Jay seemed to forget the previous segment, eventually calling Zayn family. Survivor Series PLE is at the end of November, but still has nearly 4 weeks of storytelling. The segment could have been saved for SmackDown, or next week's show to draw it out a bit longer.